listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. A lot has been written lately about high-level physics experiments, that prove that the world is an illusion and that reality doesn't exist. As intuitives, we understand that concept, but the most important question is, what does that mean for me? If you are just trying to pay your bills every month, raise a family, those lofty concepts seem to be way out and not grounded in your reality. Well, okay, that makes sense. Can we make it practical? It's Valentine's Day this week, and we'll talk about using this concept to have love in your life. Stay tuned. We are married intuitives with over 25 years experience who created the Ecosystem Approach. This is a groundbreaking way to see yourself in this age of Aquarius. We help you unleash healing and potential that is unknown today and is totally unique to you personally. This is not your typical type of energy work. We help you with life-changing internal discovery that is powerful, rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. Jason, this sounds really complicated.
It is.
And a little boring.
It is.
Why should I pay attention?
So, because understanding this concept allows you to have power in ways that you couldn't imagine before.
Okay.
It kind of clears the deck and says, oh my gosh, what could I do with this?
Yeah.
So much of what we're talking about today comes from an article published by Ross Pittman, and he publishes Conscious Life News, and he happens to be our neighbor.
He does.
If you're interested in looking at this website or this article, I'm going to put the link to the article in our newsletter this week. So if you're not getting our newsletter, go to our newsletter, theecosystemapproach.org, and sign up for our free section, and to get that information. But he wrote an article, Reality is an Illusion, Scientific Proof plus 69 additional reasons for you to believe it's true.
Okay.
And it's a long article. It has the detail that you want or not want, that sort of thing. He goes through the science of it with great detail. It's very impressive. And I'm going to kind of quote from the article to just kind of start us off today, okay? And I'm not going to bore you with all the detail. What I know about this idea of quantum mechanics and what was recently discovered by 3 scientists who received a Nobel Prize. So this is accepted. But at the quantum level, they found these things that happen that is not your high school physics that we saw when, high school or college, where the atoms were all in nice little
round balls.
Yes, and that the electrons, had their orbits, and there were so many electrons for each element, and then when you combined elements, they combined in a certain way. It's not like that at all. They found that these electrons can be in 2 places at once.
Oh yeah.
That they can not be located next to the nucleus of the atom. It could be way off someplace else.
As what they thought.
And what they found was that this is part of what we're talking about today. This reality doesn't exist until a human being looks at it, observes it, measures it, and that's when it comes into focus. And until that time, it's just a probability of a range of possible outcomes.
Okay.
Well, this makes sense to us. And
Right.
let me see if I can explain this, that um, we have influence what we call energy, so that when we're working with someone, it doesn't matter where the distance.
Right.
So if we work with someone face to face, it's
That's
no different
then
someone who's across halfway around the world,
Yeah.
and we're talking on Zoom or whatever. And it's and we also know that this is the way we've been working for 25 years.
That's
It's
correct.
not new to us, okay? But what we do is not, we don't turn straw into gold. In other words,
Wait.
it's not the magic that people expect a lot of times. But
Correct.
what happens is we work with the things that are the most influenced by energy, which is the intangibles.
Mm-hmm. And
Your
if you
success
give,
in the world,
there you go.
your ability to have a relationship,
Correct.
your ability to have a relationship with a significant other, have the love in your life. This is Valentine's Day this week, to be to have that special someone. There's so much loneliness in the world.
Yes,
If
there
you
is.
understand that loneliness is a belief, it's an energy, we call it an energy, a belief that you project out in the world.
It's true.
And as a result, that belief creates a form of loneliness that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Right.
So I'm going to kind of quote from him, but he said,
Ross said.
yeah, Ross said, the
Okay.
mountains of evidence about the illusionary nature of reality can be challenging to believe, but it also can be liberating. If you accept that reality is an illusion, then you can know that you are not limited by the world of appearances. By recognizing your true power comes from within, that external reality is a reflection of your inner state, you can choose to experience the world in a way that is fulfilling and meaningful to you. And in addition, many mystical traditions argue that recognizing the illusionary nature of existence is a critical step toward liberation and enlightenment. We call it consciousness. It doesn't really matter what you call it. Um, but here's where people get really stuck, though. When people hear that you can choose your reality, they think, oh my gosh, I would never choose the reality in front of me right now.
Yes.
And that's where we come in. This is what we add to what Ross is saying,
Okay.
that makes it all, that opens it up.
Okay.
And by the way, this is why I think what we do with UTUE is so important. I was just thinking about this. I haven't talked to Patricia about this, but we don't brag enough. And I don't mean that to sound conceited, but we're so busy doing these things. This is a big deal.
Yes, it is.
What we've seen, what we can see, what we see in the world today is that there's a lot of people out there that study the ancient masters
Yes.
and then interpret it for the modern day world.
The problem with it is,
The problem with that is that interpretation sometimes doesn't apply today.
well, I mean, in the ancient world, life was completely different. It moved a whole lot
It was
slower
so
and
different.
less distance.
Yes. And so um, um, I'm gonna add some more to this, but what I want to say is that what our story is that we didn't start by studying the ancient world at all. We're not well read in the
No,
traditional way.
we're not.
We started developing our own ability. We had some inherent intuitive ability, and we started to develop it and refine it. And then we saw that you could, first of all, by changing the energy, by
There
doing
you go.
exactly what Ross is talking about,
That is exactly
changing the
right.
energy.
Mhm.
And as we do more and more of that, we have this clarity about the way things are.
Yes.
And she knows I do this all the time. I don't take anything for granted. So if the ancient masters say blah blah blah, I say, I want to go look and see if that's true. And
Right.
we actually work together to go and look and see if a lot of those things are true. Some things are and some things aren't.
Correct.
When people who don't realize the illusionary nature of the world, they're at a distinct advantage because they mistakenly think their lives are solely shaped by external events. This is Ross again.
Right.
Underestimating the power that they possess in shaping their reality. So if your boss fires you,
Yes.
that's your reality. It
Yeah.
didn't have it,
Yeah, of course.
if your husband walks out after so many years, that's your reality, and they overly invest in this societal roles. How many people do that, and become ensnared by unnecessary stress? These are the rules. I have to follow the rules.
Absolutely.
We're programmed to believe that there's no other way. And we're constantly burdened by fears, worries, avoidance, and we don't know what it means to hold on to your destiny. Now,
Correct.
I would say that most people don't either. And we're going to talk about something really amazing
Okay.
in the next segment. But shall we do the summary?
Yes, we
And,
should.
oh, by the way, I changed it.
I see that.
Yeah.
Jason, what's the summary of this section?
There is scientific proof about this nature of the illusion of reality.
Okay.
It is commonly believed that you can choose your experiences in a way that is fulfilling and meaningful. Those beliefs can be confusing for those who would say, I would never choose the reality that they live in. Many people believe that their lives are solely shaped by external events and as a result spend their whole life spinning and being stuck in a reality that is not in their best interest. It is misunderstood how to choose your reality in this world of illusion and is a question that most people struggle to understand.
Correct.
We have the answer. We have some clarity for those beliefs based on our own intuition and the ability to see the truth that is available to everybody.
All right. In the next segment, we're going to do something different. We're going to presume for a minute you can create your current reality. Ask yourself, what does that reality look like? If it's not what you want, well, we'll talk about how to make it more in alignment with the authentic you.
So look at your life right now.
Take a
and
look at it.
See what it is.
Right.
Objectively, not what you want it to be, what it is, what it actually is.
Exactly. And in other words, if you're a mom with 10 kids, okay, you're
Is that the reality that you wanted?
Yes, but the other thing is you also know you're not going to get rid of 5 of those kids that isn't how it works.
Yes.
That isn't what we're talking about. So, everyone, this is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to do something different as we talked about in the last segment. Presume for a minute you create your current reality. Ask yourself, what does that reality look like? If it's not what you want, we'll talk about how to make it more in alignment with the authentic you. Okay, audience, what have you found out about the life you created for yourself? If you're struggling with this exercise, start with the area of your life, something like relationships, health, money, job, and, well, just well-being. Jason, once you see the life you've created for yourself, what's the first step?
The first step is to address the guilt. So many people say, oh my God, I've created this for myself. They take too much responsibility. They say, I'm a bad person. Why did I create this divorce? Why did I create this angst in my family? Why did I do this to my kid? Why did I do this?
Exactly.
Why did I get fired? Why do I have struggle with money? Why, why do I have this health condition that makes it so difficult for me to be happy?
Right.
All these things. The truth is that, and we see this very clearly, there's no one that we know consciously has asked for these types of things in their life.
Correct.
They don't say, yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Correct.
And so let's understand how it happens, and so we can deal with the guilt.
How and why it happens.
Yes.
That's the way I would say that.
And I want to just take a brief break.
Okay.
And talk about this. The vast majority of people, we were talking about this the other day.
Yes, we were.
Have no idea what we're talking about here. They have no idea about consciousness, about the world as an illusion. Correct. You can create your own life
and reality. Yes.
And they would think we were from another planet. And sometimes I think we are, but that's another story.
A whole other show. Yeah.
If you're listening now, but you're struggling to understand what I say, you're among the select few that want to understand this concept, are driven to understand this concept. I want to applaud you because this select few is improving the consciousness of the world.
Correct.
What we need today is an increase in consciousness so people can be more self-aware to see what's happening around them in a way that's more objective. You know, we have this idea that what's happening around us is based, there's all these conspiracy theories today about what's happening in the world, and
Correct.
people are saying, oh, this is happening and this is happening, but it's you know, it's easily disprovable. It's not true.
This is happening, and I'm doomed.
Or I'm a victim, or these people are doing this to me.
Correct.
And we have to stamp these people out so that
Yes.
that doesn't happen to me, you know, that kind of fear and paranoia. That's all an illusion. So so the trap that you're doing this to yourself is not true.
Well, and the trap that somebody else is doing it to me.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, that's the other part of that. That's right. That's exactly right.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. My apologies.
The trap is that the idea that you choose your life, your happiness, or an expression of your life. This is out there so much. It always makes my butt quiver. You know, she's always telling me, don't say that on the air, but I can't help it. This, if anything, goes down to my backside and gives me anxiety.
Okay.
You know, it's this idea that you choose your own happiness. You can choose to be happy. Well, what we see is that when you choose to be happy, this is what happens. Someone goes internally and because they're programmed, they use willpower.
There you go.
Self-discipline.
Yes.
And they force themselves
and ego.
I'm going to talk about ego in just a minute, to act happy. That's not authentic happiness.
Act happy
is
the key there.
Yes. Act happy is the key. And a while back, there was this important video called The Secret. And law of attraction, that if you want abundance, you have to have an abundance mentality.
Correct.
If you don't want poverty, you don't want to have a poverty mentality.
Correct.
But when you force yourself to have an abundant mentality, it's not real. Right. And it's what's real that attracts your life the way it should be.
Yes.
So that's the most important part. Okay.
Right.
So what is real?
Okay.
People don't understand this. What's real is the energy that's actually attached to your essence.
Right.
So if there's negative energy, we've talked about this many times.
Yes.
We've talked about the 80%. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But it creates the exact kind of life that is consistent with that negative energy.
Exactly.
It's not consistent with that authentic part of yourself.
And it perpetuates it.
Keeps going and going and going. It's worse and worse and worse.
But I'm gonna go to the other side for just one moment.
Yeah.
Just to give a contrast. When you have a partner and you love that partner.
It's Valentine's Day, so
okay, I can do that. Thank you. And you love that partner, and there's a part of you that you've gone out into the world, you're doing your 9-to-5 job, and you can't wait to get home to that partner to share the energy of the relationship and love and laughter and fun and even the hurts and pains in your life. Now that is a reality that most people would give their eye teeth for.
Well, on Valentine's Day, people want a partner. They want to love in their life. They don't want to be lonely. They want to be connected.
So I'm going to just jump in and say, one of the first things that I would suggest is start clearing loneliness and your love of the loneliness.
Well, the point is about all this is that it's negative energy. If you're lonely, if you look out the world and there's no one there for you, that's because there's negative energy there that's blocking that for you.
That is
absolutely
correct.
Last week we talked about curses. A lot of people are cursed in this way. A lot of people have these huge energies that are in their way. It's not their fault. But it creates a form of loneliness. Here's the other part, okay? When you say, okay, you can choose your own reality, you can choose to be happy, you can choose these things, where does that come from? Well, that's where people's ego comes into play that's misapplied.
Okay.
And we see this. This is how we know this, okay? We're talking about a lot of stuff here. We see this by just using our intuition.
Yes.
And we know that this would be available to everybody if they had the same level of intuition. And we also know that everyone can have roughly the same type of intuition that we have. That's why we created the ecosystem approach.
Correct.
That's why we're doing these radio shows to teach you how to use energy in a way that is more conscious, more evolved,
yes,
and at a higher level.
exactly.
So, but here's the thing about ego. Most people have all this negative energy attached to their essence. We talk about the 80%. If you've been listening for a while, you've heard us talk about the 80%.
Correct.
We saw that most people, even people who are very successful, have 80% of their essence, their soul, encumbered, made dysfunctional, co-opted by negative energy.
Correct.
So when negative energy co-opts your essence, that means it's creating, it's attracting things in your life that your essence would never want to have you attracted to.
Correct.
So, so when you say you can choose these things, your ego, when it's not connected to your essence, because your essence has 80% of it covered up.
Correct.
It's the most low-level thing. That's where greed, the lust for power,
yes,
selfishness comes into play. That's when the ego is untethered by your essence. But when you clear away that negative energy, and I'm speaking in absolutes, it happens over time.
Okay.
But as you start to clear away that negative energy from your essence will attract that which is authentic to you. That's which is the way you want the world to be the most satisfying. And when you're like that, your ego, the way you're designed, is your ego is supposed to be in support of your essence and your life purpose.
Right.
But most egos are out there, they're not tethered by your essence, they're not connected to your essence. So they go into greed because of the programming, which suppresses the essence. They go nuts. Now,
well, okay, but I just want to back up and say, if you ask yourself the question about "this is my life" when we started the show, and you went, "How did I manage to do this?" In reality, or in my reality, I would have never asked for this. Understand that by removing the negative energy around that, whatever is not right for you, that's the best place to start.
Yes, which is how you start using the ecosystem approach.
Exactly.
My mom, you've probably heard this before, she has dementia. We take care of my mom. She's 93. She's going to be 94 in a month, I think.
Yes.
And she has dementia, and she's functionally deaf.
Yes.
She has exactly the life she wants.
Right.
But it's connected to the negative energy of her Enneagram type.
Yes.
Which we're going to talk about more. That's attached to her. So she would never, if you go back 10 years or 20 years, she would never say, I want to just be taken care of, have no responsibility, and just get up and enjoy the natural world and then go to bed.
Right.
She would say, that's not me, but
that's her reality.
But that's her ego
right now,
because she would want what she wants to sound good.
Yes, exactly.
But the reality is that, she sits down, all of a sudden her breakfast is there. She doesn't have to pay any bills. She doesn't have to do her taxes. I'm doing her taxes. So I'm really thinking about that right now. It's an exact expression of the negative energy attached to her Enneagram type, not her authentic self.
Jason, tell us what the summary is of this segment, and then we'll move on.
Trying to understand this information makes you special and helps you elevate consciousness present in the world today. The idea that you choose your life, your reality, is a half-truth based on the commonly held beliefs that are not true. The vast majority of people, especially those who have become successful in the world, have no idea their true nature because they are goal-driven, which obscures your essence. Without consciousness, too much negative energy attached to you, your ego will attempt to choose your life, and that may not be in alignment with who you are or your essence or your authentic self. Your Enneagram type represents the negative energy attached to you, and without removing the negative energy, it will attempt to co-opt your life and express itself instead of your essence.
In the next segment, we're going to talk about how to have your life and the authentic part of you line up so you can have the life you truly want. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about how to have your life and the authentic part of you line up so you can have the life you truly want. Okay, Jason, where do we start to have the life that we truly want?
The starting point is always self-knowledge, you know, and you can't have the life that you want if you don't know who you are authentically.
Right.
Now, this sounds like a contradiction because we often say, start where you're at. But frankly, starting where you're at or the difficulty that you have in your life, whether it's relationships, money, health,
right,
whatever it is, that's probably where your biggest block is.
Yes.
And that's where you need to start.
Okay.
So as you start moving negative energy, you're removing it from your essence anyways.
Okay.
So, and when you remove negative energy from your essence, that's when self-knowledge starts to happen.
Exactly.
This is who I am. This is who I'm not, you know,
Okay.
that sort of thing. We've just started, and I want to brag about you for just a minute. Looking at how your Enneagram type is really energy that creates a series of compulsions that some people, if you just look superficially, can see as, well, that's good. What's wrong with that?
Right.
But but these energies are compulsions, and there's no free will in that, and you're basically enslaved.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
You know, so when you see a 7 that can't stop, or a 6 that compulsively has to be safe, or an 8 that has to be a bully, has to be aggressive.
Exactly.
You know, they don't have a choice in the matter. They're often, they can, in certain situations, those traits can be very valuable.
Right.
But when they're in those situations when they're not, they really are negative energy.
Yeah.
And the Enneagram, I think, was a whole body of knowledge that was given to us.
Oh, and I meant to look that up.
Because we couldn't see the negative energy that's attached to people. You know, my mother, who's a 2, you know, they love too much. They use love in a way that and connection
is smothering.
And
the best description.
and almost but you know, on the other side of that, they don't have any ability to create boundaries or
Correct.
or to make decisions or to say, no, I'm not going to do that, or that sort of thing.
Exactly.
So so let's talk about the 80% again, because that's what this is really all about.
Okay.
What you're trying to get rid of is this 80%. This idea that you choose your life and that somehow you're at your level of your essence, you're pure, is not true. And we know this because we see it. It's based on our observation.
Well, and also,
and again, anybody could see this,
right,
if they had the ability.
Because of programming, I would say more than 80% of the people that are trying to see it can't see it because of the programming, the negative energy of programming,
which told them something else.
Exactly.
That this is true, not this, or this is true, not this.
Yes.
So, and let's talk about the 80%, because we saw it with people that were successful, which intuitively you think people that have been successful have removed that negative energy so they could be more successful.
Yes.
We didn't see that at all.
No.
The other thing we saw was babies. The idea is, and this comes from these spiritual traditions that we found is not true.
With that baby, when you have babies, that they come in and they're completely pure.
It's not true.
And I know most people don't like to hear that, but that part is true.
You know, childhood cancers, babies that come in with cancer, or
Correct.
children that develop cancers or brain cancers.
Dysfunctions.
Yeah.
Or disabilities.
Disabilities.
That's what
it's negative energy that they come in with.
Yes.
And we see it so clearly. I've typed a lot of babies in the womb
Yes.
with their enneagram type. And
And
again, your
then
enneagram type is the negative
right on.
energy attached to you.
Right.
And it's been exactly right. So
Yes.
um, um, people, humans are designed to respond to the world in a way that is in alignment with their essence or their true nature.
Correct.
But that has little or no negative energy attached. So your ego would function just correctly, which would be in service to your life purpose and the goals of your essence
Right.
that want to be expressed in the world. That's when things would be right. But we see all these people who have ego that become head of companies or CEOs or government leaders who, have this lust for power, this greed, this thirst
By the way,
for.
that doesn't come from the essence of who you are.
It doesn't. It comes
Yes.
from this negative energy attached.
Yes.
So, and then if you wanted to have love in your life, if you're saying, I want someone, I just want that special person, that connection, that at the end of the day, this is how we feel about each other. At the end of the day, when, we don't want to talk to anybody else, we
Right.
can be with each other, and that's how it
Exactly.
feels. And
one of the biggest surprises to both of us is that we had no idea that the other one felt or saw that need to have that special someone be the one that I'm looking at right now. It was one of the biggest surprises, and one of the best things about all of it was that we both were truly, authentically interested in understanding what about that 80%. What
yes,
about
yes.
how can I help not only myself but others?
At the
Be
time, our conscious desire wasn't to find a partner at all.
not no. In fact, it was like, huh?
And as we remove this negative energy,
It just blossomed.
that's what creates our connection.
Yes.
So if you know that what's interfering with your ability to have the love that you want in
Right.
life, it's from that negative energy.
Yes.
So let's do the summary here.
And then we'll do the
Talk about how to clear.
okay, it sounds really good. So Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
The ecosystem approach is the way to attract a life that is truly authentic to you. As you remove the negative energy, who you are authentically is uncovered, and your essence will naturally attract the best life for you.
Yeah.
Your greatest challenge often represents the blocks that keep you from a life that is more authentic to you.
Right.
The 80% is an observation about the nature of the world today and just how much negative energy is present to block you and others from having the life that you want.
True.
The 80% is present in successful people and in babies, which is counterintuitive because we are trained to believe that babies and successful people must have less negative energy attached to themselves. The illusionary nature of life holds a promise that the best life for us is possible.
Right.
We do have the power to create that, but we first have to understand how it really works, not how we've been programmed to believe it works,
Right.
and that you can do it using the ecosystem approach.
Right.
And oh, by the way, if this is just if you're saying, oh my God, this is what I have to have, go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org. It's all one word, and sign up for our free section. We ask for your email address. We don't spam you or anything like that. It'll be your connection, your symbol that says, I'm going to do something better in the world. I'm going to have more consciousness.
And I want to say about that, take that step today, because it's a step in the right direction that will and can make a huge difference in your life, and yet you can still live in your life and be in the same place, and I'm talking about physically in the same place. That's not the kind of stuff that changes usually from the ecosystem approach. It's the good stuff.
It's the intangibles. It's just
Yes.
feeling comfortable in your own skin.
Exactly.
Being able to go out in the world in a way that you can connect with some people
Yes.
in a way that's really
And
positive.
decide that you don't want to connect with other people.
And by the way, this doesn't happen overnight. And
it's a big deal.
we see it's so clear to us how much negative energy there is in the world. It is not a small amount. It is huge.
Yes.
And it's so obvious to us now. And the more we do this work, the more we see it.
Yes.
But you're not
better and more clarity you gain, the more you do this.
And, you know, if you've been alone most of your life, you're not going to snap your fingers and do a couple clearing statements and then everything's going to change.
Right.
But you have to see how that negative energy is attached to you in infinite numbers of ways.
Exactly. And it's never just one thing.
It's never just one
And
thing.
the other thing that I was going to say is that you're right, it doesn't happen overnight, but it also you can feel lighter, better right away by doing the ecosystem
Yes,
approach.
you can feel just by doing some
awesome.
clearing statements, you know.
That is correct. So Jason, let's explain to the audience out there how to do the clearing. And for those of you who already know how to do it, just follow along and then stay tuned.
It's a very simple approach, but it's deceivingly simple because it has great power.
Yes.
And we can use this with great depth.
Yes.
You can stand or sit. You don't have to be in any special posture.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do the lotus position. And you use your imagination. So you can be doing this while you're even talking to someone. We do it all the time.
Yes.
Doing two things at once, doing it in the shower, you
Yeah.
know, going for a walk, working out, you can do clearing. You can do it all sorts of ways.
And one of the things that I've been able to do is at my age, I dance probably every day or close to it. And that's one of the places that I've been able to create dance moves to help remove negative energy.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
and fun.
So you use your imagination. So when we say and to eliminate veils and illusions, barriers, specific emotions, gather those veils and illusions, barriers, or specific emotions in your body, blow them into the processor. Sierra's putting a picture of the processor up now. It goes in the top, it gets processed, it comes out neutral. So that negative energy is changed to a neutral energy.
Right. And it not only helps you, but it helps not only your world around you, but your environment.
You're eliminating negative energy in the world.
And what could be a better way to do that?
Yeah.
So with that said, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to help you start to have the life that is best for you, so you can take charge of negative energy attached to you and remove it. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to help you start to have the life that is best for you, so you can take charge of the negative energy attached to you and remove it. So with that said, Jason, take it away.
Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that we all live in a world that is not real. Take a breath, take those veils and illusions.
And throw them in that processor. Remember how important that processor is. You don't want to be removing negative energy, throw it on the ground, and then get up and walk back into it. In other words, intend to put that negative energy in that processor. It makes a difference.
And I want to do one more that just came up. So
okay,
it's not this.
So Jason, take it away.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that even though the world is not real, I still have to pay my rent every month. Take a breath.
Take a breath.
Because your landlord's not going to understand that the world's not real. So I don't,
Exactly.
This is just phony money anyways, right?
Exactly,
so,
right. All right. So with that said, and to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that the benefit of understanding the world as an illusion actually gives me power. Take a breath. Get rid of those veils and illusions. Go ahead.
And to eliminate the stress, anxiety, and overwhelm that comes from any issue in my life because I see it as an illusion.
Take a breath. You don't need the stress and anxiety and overwhelm. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that I have the power to create the illusion that is my life. Take a breath. Easy.
And to eliminate any doubt I have because I would never consciously choose my current life. The doubt that I have that this is even true.
Take a breath and blow it in. And to eliminate the barriers so I can see that the life that I have is an expression of the energy attached to me, whether I'm conscious of it or not. Take a breath. Blow out that negative energy. Those are barriers right there.
and to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that the ecosystem approach is the way I can directly influence that energy attached to me by removing the bad energies that shouldn't be there and uncovering what should be there.
Nice. Take a breath. And by the way, the more you uncover, the more the authentic you does come forward. And one of the most amazing things that happens is you go, oh, I kind of like that person.
And sometimes it happens very unconsciously.
Very much
You
so.
know,
That
it's
is
like
correct.
when a dog looks back at its tail and says, "Oh, is it wagging back there?" You know,
Oh, is that mine?
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. So, Jason,
Um, um,
veils and illusions,
yeah,
so I can see.
yeah, and to eliminate the veils and illusions, so I can see that my interest and need to understand these concepts makes me special.
Yes, take a breath. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see the ecosystem approach is the way I can directly influence the energy attached to me by removing the negative, or excuse me, by removing the bad energies that shouldn't be there and uncovering what should be there or what is there. Take a breath.
And we have negative energy attached to us that gets us all mixed up because
That's okay.
I just said that. So,
okay.
so here we go. And and to eliminate the veils and illusions so we can keep track of which what we're trying to read here.
Exactly.
So, and to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see trying to understand the illusion increases my consciousness and helps me and the whole world evolve.
Yes, take
a breath.
And for people our age, it's okay to repeat things. Okay, and to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that it's easy to confuse the bad energy attached to me with the authentic energy of my essence and my true nature. That didn't make sense to me at all.
Well, and because we confuse the bad energy and we think that's who we are.
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
You know?
yes, I see that. Okay.
Take a breath. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that the negative energy attached to me can be seen through my Enneagram type.
Yes. Take a breath. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see the difference between the negative energies of my Enneagram type and the authentic energy of my true self that is represented by my astrological natal chart. Take a nice breath and blow it out. Are we ready to do some life force?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Follow along, everyone. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force so I can remove the confusion that's keeping me from understanding everything that was confusing about the show today, because it is a little bit higher level than what I'm usually used to hearing from Jason and Patricia. Nice and easy. Pull in that life force energy and blow out any negative energy. Jason?
And to activate life force so I can have hope to use my inherent power as a human being to have the life that I want.
Yes, pull it in and blow it out. And to activate life force so I can trust I can have this power to make my life what it is I want, the way that I want it. Pull it in and blow it out. By the way, I know that anyone listening to the show is definitely smart enough, has the intelligence to understand that they can have things the way that they want.
Yeah. And to activate life force so I can decide that I will put in time to remove that negative energy for the rest of my life. And frankly, that's what we're all here to do. We're not supposed to do this for a certain period of time and then say that's not it.
Exactly.
And frankly, the more you do it, the more you want to do it. The more you do it, the more you want to get further and further.
Exactly. Pull it in and blow out any negative energy. And the last one in activating life force is so I can activate happiness and hope and love and laughter and clarity and courage, but also the ability to see and know and understand not only who I am by removing negative energy, but also what it is I'm doing here and why. And I want to add one more, and to activate the ability to heal and love and have laughter and fun in my life starting right now. Pull it in and blow it out. Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
Well, this was actually a request by a listener.
Okay.
It's this idea that you need to feel to heal. Is that true or false?
I see. Okay.
Many experts believe that you have to feel your emotions as you energetically remove them. Is that true or not? And we're going to talk about that. Traditional therapy believes you need to express and talk about your feelings.
Yes.
Is that true or not? There are many ideas like no emotion is bad. You just have to have the right relationship with it. Is that true? Or there's this idea of spiritual bypassing, that if you don't feel your feelings on the way out, you're not removing them energetically. You're just bypassing.
Oh, okay.
And is that true or not? We're gonna find that out next week.
Right.
So, if today really connected with you, if you're saying, okay, I get it a little bit. I get it that I can create my own world, but I have, the world I have right now is not what I want.
Okay.
It's time to just start listening to the ecosystem approach. Go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org. Sign up for our free section. You'll get weekly clearings. That's how you do all this. That's how you start to make progress. It's cumulative. The more you do the clearing, the better off it is. And do that every single week. Watch our show every week. Listen to our show, and it's going to help you. Go to our Facebook page, theecosystemapproach.org, and like us while you're there. We appreciate that. And all of our videos are there.
So we'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.